with pads. I am going ham with the recording today. Same session as the last three, so hopefully this is getting better, not worse. But I'm really enjoying just talking into a microphone again. I haven't done it in such a long time. And again, I apologize for not being in your lives for so long. Not that you necessarily missed me, but hopefully having me back and talking about fantasy football is brightening your day. As part of our off-season musings, I'm going to get into the fundamentals. We've kind of talked a little bit about league setup and what to expect generally about your league and some things there, but we're going to get into some of the detail and the fundamental details. And I'm going to start with a subject that's very, very close to my heart, guys. Kickers. They're not real people, and I'm going to say that there. And I say that knowing that everyone knows that who plays with me, and they mock me. I understand how they work. I just don't think they're great for the game. And I have leagues with kickers, and in one of our dynasty leagues, we set up a rule that every year the person who wins gets to add a rule. This year, they added kickers. We have a whole draft around it. Can I really look forward to that? Anyway, I believe kickers are not real people. Because it's time to get into the real meat of what fantasy football is: negativity. I'm joking, of course. There is an element of strategy into choosing your lineup each week. Does this wide receiver play well against a zone defense favored by the opposing defense? You can tell I'm a bit rusty, guys. Does this running back match up well with the linebackers against, and the age-old question, will Arizona ever be able to defend against middling to poor tight ends? But that's not your whole decision-making process. A big part of your consideration each week is this mythical thing called game script. Now, game script is a concept of defining whether players will be in good positions to score points or not. A running back is more likely to get opportunities if they're winning a game. You know, they're going to be running the clock down. They'll get more opportunities. They might, pop off an amazing run. Less likely to score touchdowns in that point because they're doing game clock management, but more likely to get touches. Whilst a gunslinging quarterback or pass catcher combo will be great if a defense sucks and keeps putting their team into positions where they have to throw 50 plus times a game. That's why you get games where Jameis Winston is relevant. We like that. Volume is key. And on that point, even defenses can be predictable in this manner. A stifling defense is great for keeping a good score base because you generally score 10 points for them just playing. But if you have a star edge rusher who's got a habit of containing and sacking a rival QB, you want to play that defense. There is tactics in that. Kickers do not abide by those rules. Let's say their team is up and scoring. They likely won't have the opportunity to go for three, which is the thing that makes the difference. Even if they do, it's likely to perform. It's likely to be from close range, and it's worth less, I guess. 5 points is better than 3. 5 points you generally get for 50 yards. Not many people go for that if it's a tight game potentially. And perhaps in a position where clock management or the recent trend of going for it on fourth, so many teams go for it on fourth that their statistics play that. That plays into a negative aspect of the game for kickers. That combined with the proclivity to be bad at the one thing they do. Did you see kickers last year? Yeah. In most critical moments, their unpredictability, their streakiness, and the negative play potential for your team mean that you should never rely on a kicker. They should never be the differential between you winning and losing. It causes you pain, and for one, I understand why teams see them as replaceable. And they're humans in real life, but in fantasy terms, they're not. The fact also that the difference between one kicker and the other is very minimal, because you might say, oh, Justin Tucker is automatic. Was he last season? I know he's got some things held against him, but it's not the same anymore. Yes, you may have a few weeks of Bandon Aubrey banging in 60-yarders, or the once metronomic and now controversial figure that I just spoke about, Justin Tucker, Greg the Leg previously. Greg the Leg is hurt now. But you're really playing fancy football if you... I guess the point I'm trying to make is, are you really playing fancy football when you're playing kickers? Really? You're going to set and forget that player. You're not playing fancy football. You're not playing a big part of the game. And when it doesn't make a big deal in your lineup, because that 5 to 10 points they're going to score is the same as 5 to 10 points that someone else is going to score, it doesn't make a difference. No. Phase out kickers or make them more important. That's the only two options. The only two that I can... and there's only one that you can make yourself. Phase out kickers. Please, phase out kickers. Kicker-only leagues, yeah, they're a thing. Double kickers, yeah, I know that's a thing. It's meme leagues. I don't like playing in meme leagues. This is a personal thing, and I thought I'd kick off the fundamentals of fantasy football with the likes of GameScript, with a funny old rapper of kickers being awful human beings for fantasy football. But thank you once again for listening to 5 minutes of me ranting in prose. I really do appreciate it. Next week, we're going to be talking about paralysis by analysis and choosing your fighters and the difference that you can make going throughout and the way you analyze players as well. If you've enjoyed this series, please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. For more, follow me on socials at Rugby with Pads. You can support the pod for as little as £1 a month. Get yourself some merch from www.rugbywithpads.com. Hopefully that's enough W's. Anyway, thank you so much. And yes, I know it's a little bit early. We're not at the draft yet. Hopefully we'll be getting there soon, but I will see you all on the virtual gridiron.